Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
Well, we are following some breaking news. Assignment Manager Mark Liu is live at the desk with the details. And Mark, I understand they're chasing a possible shooting suspect?
Yeah, that's right, Amy. LAPD in pursuit right now, and SkyCal is overhead. This is not far from LAX right now. If we can get SkyCal to put the moving map on, that would that can tell us exactly where we are. But that tan or silver Chevy Avalanche that you're looking at in the center of your screen, that is the fleeing vehicle. LAPD officers from the Harbor Division are chasing it right now. This vehicle is described as being driven by someone who is wanted for attempted murder right now. There may be more than one person in the car because they are discussing on the radio the fact that the, quote, suspects in this vehicle are armed, and the watch commander is telling the units involved in this pursuit, do not pit them. It is too dangerous because these are attempted murder suspects, assault with a deadly weapon suspects, and they are armed. Now, this vehicle has been in this pursuit for about the last 20 to 25 minutes. It started a little bit further south down, as I said, in the Harbor Division. That's closer to the Port of LA. But LAPD has been chasing this silver. It looks more silver to me. They described it as a tan Avalanche, but it looks more silver to me. The right front tire may be damaged because they reported seeing some smoke coming off of that tire, so it might have been damaged. I did not hear any deployment of spike strips right now, but at least at one point in the last 5 minutes, Amy, this vehicle was driving on the wrong side of the road, attempting to evade these police vehicles behind it. Now, this is a very difficult area for SkyCal to work in. This is right by LAX. There are a lot of very heavy jets coming in on the flight path, and so this is a restricted area. It's called the Class B Bravo airspace, where we are under the control of the LAX tower, and it looks like now this vehicle may be heading south out of the LAX area, which is good news, but a very dangerous pursuit. At least one, possibly two people in this car described as assault with a deadly weapon suspect. More specifically, attempted murder suspects. I did just hear an LAPD dispatcher describe the want on them as being wanted for a crime from about 2 weeks ago. So they may have been looking for this guy for at least the last 14 days, Amy.
And, this is one of those tough ones where this is a large size vehicle, this truck. So, even if they did want to do a pit maneuver, it is tricky. And as you mentioned, they know these people are armed and certainly considered very dangerous. And so they've really got their work cut out for them. They certainly pull off at the street, but in doing so, it could be very tricky. You can see there, it appears that this truck is starting to slow down a bit, which we'd like to believe that they would pull over and stop peacefully, but at this point does not appear that way. And those windows are so dark, Mark, at this point, it is really impossible to say how many people are in that truck. And we're seeing a wider view here of that pursuit that's happening. And again, you mentioned that it started about noon this afternoon. They've been looking for these people. Again, the driver of this truck is wanted for attempted murder, and we see more smoke coming from that truck. You have to wonder if those tires are giving way there, Mark.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing from my colleagues at the assignment desk in the newsroom two bits of information. One, this pursuit started around 99th and Avalon. That's actually in the South LA area, so that's a little bit further north than I had initially believed this pursuit had started. Also, one of those tires is apparently on the rim right now, so we have lost a tire on this Chevy Avalanche. And I also want to note, Amy, listening to the radio traffic of this pursuit, I've heard two things that are very rare in pursuits that we cover, and that is the first, the watch commander who was calling this pursuit said, we will not go into tracking mode for this vehicle. Now, if you're familiar, we have heard of tracking mode or surveillance mode. That's when the police units sometimes back off. They give the driver a lot of distance, and they just follow this vehicle with the air unit. Sometimes that makes it easier for the driver to get away because there aren't units in the area when the pursuit comes to an end. But the air commander here said no tracking mode in this one. We are not going to give these suspects up. We want to take them into custody. And the other thing that I heard is also no pit maneuver here because these suspects are considered armed and very dangerous. And this might force a shooting confrontation if there is a pit maneuver at the end of this pursuit. So I think, Amy, what we're going to see here is a very close pursuit. They are going to be following this vehicle all the way to the end. But now you can see we are on Pacific Coast Highway right by El Segundo. And this is still very close to the LAX airspace.
And this is certainly one of those tricky situations when you've got the known armed suspects. And as you mentioned, Mark, no pit maneuvers. And, best case scenario, this driver would pull over and give themselves up. But, you know, it's dangerous for other drivers out there. You hope that everyone is driving with their doors locked, because these people could certainly jump out and try to get another vehicle. They are armed and they are having some trouble with their truck there. They've lost at least one tire. It appears that they are driving on rims, which may be why this truck has slowed down. Earlier it was going a little faster, and it looks like they're having a little trouble controlling that car, because again, it looks like it's the front passenger
It is the front passenger, Amy. That's
tire
right.
that
It
is
is
just on the rims.
Yes, it is. And this is so dangerous. I mean, this is PCH just south of LAX on a Friday afternoon. It is very busy here. There is a lot of traffic. This is a very heavy vehicle, the Chevy Avalanche. Now, that probably means that it's going to be able to drive for a considerable amount of distance, but it does not turn on a dime, even with all four tires intact. So whoever is driving this vehicle, they are under a lot of stress right now, keeping this vehicle under control, especially if they're going to conduct a pursuit, you know, trying to get away from police officers. This is a very, very dangerous situation. And, you know, we just haven't seen any pedestrians or anything like this, but you can see negotiating a right-hand turn with, yes, you are right, it is the right passenger tire that is completely blown out. Now we are on the wrong side of the road here.
So
this is
dangerous.
extremely dangerous. And you can see, you know, LAPD police officers will not drive on the wrong side of the road when they are in pursuit. It's for their safety and, of course, the safety of the civilian population around here. But okay, it looks like now this fleeing vehicle is back on the right side of the road. But I am shocked, Amy, that we have not seen sparks come off of this tire yet. Probably, I would guess, because it's such a heavy duty vehicle, maybe there's not a lot of weight being put on that tire, but it's got to be getting hot.
Yes, definitely. It is definitely.
Oh, and now we have a collision right here at Nash and Imperial Highway.
Right out of the way there. Bumped them right out of the way, and that's going to be a problem, as this driver can't control the truck as they would normally control it. Now, Mark, have you heard anything about spike strips, or did this tire just give way, perhaps because they were driving so fast, or the tires were in poor condition?
I have not heard anything about spike strips, and we have technology here at the assignment desk where we record all of the radio traffic that the LAPD uses, and I was able to go back in time and listen to the very start of this pursuit. I did not hear any deployment of any spike strips, but you just reminded me of something that I did hear that I wanted to bring up. Apparently, I believe it was at Manchester and a cross. I can't remember what it was. This vehicle was involved in a collision. And oddly, I swear I heard them say it collided with a group of mannequins on the sidewalk. So it might have been like a sidewalk store that had like fashion mannequins out. But at first, the air unit thought that it was people, but it ended up being just mannequins. So this collision did damage this vehicle slightly, but I don't think that there were any injuries on the sidewalk when this vehicle did that collision. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that one. But we don't have that one on video. That is before SkyCal got overhead. But that could possibly be one reason why this tire was damaged, but I have not heard any deployment of any spike strips. I don't think it's possible right now. This vehicle is driving far too dangerously and far too erratically for them to put out spike strips in a meaningful way, I think, right now.
Yeah, and Mark, this truck now headed towards Inglewood and has managed to keep the speeds up pretty high, considering it is on three tires with that right passenger tire gone, just on the rims. It's been able to maneuver better than you would expect there. You can see it's still keeping at a pretty good rate of speed there, but we have noticed that this driver has had some trouble maneuvering some turns, now going again on the wrong side of the road.
Oh, that tire's coming off. That rim looks like it is wobbly, Amy. I just saw it. It's wobbling.
Yeah, you can tell they're struggling, but it really makes you nervous at this time because they're desperate to get away. They know their vehicle's not operating properly, so you just hope that they don't try to get out and carjack another driver to continue this on in another car. We're just hoping that people are aware of what's happening around them, that they hear the sirens and that they are getting out of the way and their doors are locked, and no one opens up their door for anyone that might jump out and ask for a ride.
Yeah, this is, as you said, it is very dangerous. And, one of the things, I'm looking at the radar right now, there is a lot of crowded airspace over this pursuit. I'm sure that the air commander that is in the air unit that is calling out this pursuit to the officers on the ground is really got their work cut out for them. Not only is, this always difficult to track a pursuit on the ground, but this pursuit driver continues to float around the LAX restricted airspace. I mean, we have wide body jets just to the north of this pursuit, making their regular landings at LAX, and it is a Friday at LAX. It is very busy, and the LAPD helicopter, they have to obey the rules from the LAX tower as well. They, certainly can't get in the way of a wide-body jet that is landing at LAX. So the units on the ground, are going to stay very close to this fleeing driver, and they may lose the sight of the LAPD air unit. If we continue to go north into this LAX airspace, we're going to lose the sight from SkyCal as well, because media airships, we are under the same rules. We cannot violate that airspace because it's just too dangerous for those big planes coming into LAX.
And it's interesting, Mark, this driver's been going in the middle of the road there. And, as you were mentioning, it's Friday, Good Friday. LAUSD out on spring break. A lot of people are off today because of the holiday, and a lot of people out and about, but it appears that people are pulling over. They're getting out of the way of this truck that really does appear to be having some trouble controlling this vehicle at this time, as it is on just 3 tires, 1 right rim there. And again, this pursuit started around noon. This is someone that they're after that is facing some charges of attempted murder. And this driver just refusing to stop or pull over. You see a couple of people on bicycles there. And we've seen this driver. Something just flew. It looks like, I don't know if it came off of the truck.
I saw that too. I'm not sure what that was. I mean, this vehicle is getting more distant from SkyCal, unfortunately, because, as I said, we can't get into that airspace. But yeah, that driver is driving pretty slowly. I think maybe they realize just how delicate the situation is controlling this Chevy Avalanche with 1 tire out that is also... It's probably really noisy in that cabin right now as you're grinding the rim against the asphalt. It's probably really, really nerve-wracking. I mean, obviously being a pursuit is a nerve-wracking experience for the driver, which is why they should just give up and surrender peacefully here. But LAPD showing no signs of giving up on this one. As I said, they do not want to go into tracking mode or surveillance mode. They are going to stay on this driver's tail until they get this driver into custody. But now we have transitioned into sort of a westbound direction as we head, I can't really tell what street this is. It might be
Imperial Highway.
This is Imperial Highway. Okay, so this is Imperial Highway going I believe west again towards the LAX area. It looks like we might be crossing over. That might be the 405. I think that was the 405.
This truck is really slowing down. We were just showing our viewers on the right side of the screen the trouble that the truck was having in maneuvering that turn, but we are watching now again full from here live, and the truck really does seem to be slowing down, and I do believe it's because they're having some real trouble here controlling the truck. As you mentioned, Mark, they're really trying to keep control of this and not crash this truck, because they are really working hard to stay away from the officers there. You see someone on a bicycle. It's certainly a dangerous situation, but the one good thing is that the truck is definitely going slower. And again, I'm seeing something, it almost appears that, Mark, that something's flying out of the truck bed. I don't know what it is, if it's just paper or what's coming out of there, or maybe it's coming out of the, I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but is that just paper coming out of that?
It might be some kind of paper debris or something, or just debris from the road. But we are now on the north side of LAX, continuing to go north. If he keeps going this way, he will exit this flight space that I'm talking about. But it is still very difficult to track him, both for us and the LAPD air unit. This person, we're not really sure where they're going. I mean, they're not anywhere near where this pursuit started. This pursuit started, as I said, over at 99th and Avalon. That's quite a distance away over in the South LA area. It's on the east side of the 110. We're here by the 405 in LAX. So we really don't know where this driver intends on going, or what their intentions are in trying to get away. So it's anybody's guess, including the LAPD, where this will head next. Now, they may have stopped. I don't see this. This is really slowed down at this point here, just to the east. Like, he turned around, going back the other way. Made a U-turn. All right.
Made a U-turn, still going back around. This is a tricky area for SkyCal because of those buildings that are there, and they are limited on where exactly they can fly and the video that they can show us. But here we see again that truck. You can see it is definitely tilting where that other tire is just gone. They have backtracked now. Looks like trying to get back on the freeway and stopping, trying to
get
decide.
on the 405, maybe. Oh, nope, couldn't make the turn. He's going to keep heading west past the 405. Just to give you, oh boy, this is very dangerous. Now on the wrong side of the road again. Just to give you an idea, this is operating on the north side of LAX. SkyCal is on the south side of the LAX. So the camera that we're using is at maximum zoom here. And now this vehicle is heading back south again towards us. So we should be able to get a little bit better picture and get better eyes on this if he continues in this direction. But now we're back west on a small street. This, I believe this is right near like Avalon and Westchester. It's difficult to tell right now, but again, like you said, driving slow, but not in a lot of control, Amy.
No, definitely not. We've seen this driver mostly staying in the middle of the road, and I think it's because they know they don't have a lot of control of this truck. They do not want to veer to either side and hit a car. Right now, again, it's behind the building. There we go. Camera, SkyCal zooming in a little bit so we can see, but we've been noticing that the cruisers are staying very, very close on this truck. They do not want to let these people that are inside the truck get away. Mark, you were talking a little earlier about why this all started. This was someone who was wanted for attempted murder.
Yeah, they got a little bit more information. They said that this was basically an attempted murder suspect involving a shooting. It was, the assault involved gunfire. And their LAPD described it as an attempted murder. They said the crime happened near 101st in San Pedro about 2 weeks ago, and that the driver or possibly the passenger in this vehicle, or maybe both, are wanted in connection with that. They're just describing this vehicle as being the suspect vehicle in that assault with a deadly weapon. And, the other bit of radio traffic that I did hear that the officers were talking about was that there appears to be one other person in this vehicle, was because they described someone shoving something under the seat on the rear passenger side. I suppose that could be the driver, but I think it's more likely that there may be a passenger, at least one other person in the back, that has is manipulating something under the rear passenger seat.
Yeah, and with those dark tinted windows, it's really hard to see how many people are in that vehicle, but it almost looks as though they are going to a particular destination. The way that the U-turn was made looked like an intentional left turn there, and we're wondering if they're trying to get to a familiar area, maybe to a home. But certainly a dangerous situation. We do know that the people inside this truck are armed and dangerous. And you can even see, it looks as though that rim part of the truck, it's hard for this vantage point, but it looks like
this wheel, as you can see, this is what I saw before, some wobbling here. Now, this is obviously making a terrible noise down there, and it looks like a lot more damage than we saw just a few minutes ago, Amy. This vehicle may be very close to becoming disabled.
Yes, and then we have to really be cautious. These people, we do know, have weapons, and they are desperate to get away from officers, and we need to certainly stay mindful of that this could be a very tricky situation, definitely a delicate situation as they continue to try to get away, but that truck is going to be more and more difficult to control here, Mark.
Yeah, and this is, just by the way, this is in a residential neighborhood to the north of LAX in the Westchester area. These are small streets, residential streets. We haven't seen very many on this Friday afternoon engaged here. There are a few other cars on the road, but very dangerous pieces, small metal pieces coming off of this car as it drives. And now
we see the sparks.
We see the sparks that we've seen so many times in Southern California pursuits, where vehicles slowly become disabled. Parts start grinding against the asphalt. This is where fires could start. And also, little pieces of metal get shot everywhere. They end up on the road. These become road hazards also for other drivers. So the level of danger just keeps going up and up as this driver continues to insist on fleeing from the LAPD this afternoon.
It's really, it seems almost impossible that this truck is still moving as it is, and you just wonder how much longer they are going to be able to maneuver this truck and keep it going at 40 miles an hour. A lot of smoke coming out of there. But this driver certainly pushing it, keeping this truck on the road here, avoiding those officers at any cost, it appears. And we do know, again, that these people inside the truck are considered armed and dangerous, going through another intersection here in Inglewood. Mark, I have to say it's really amazing that this driver is able to still maneuver the truck as they are doing.
I know, I agree. I mean, there's got to be an incredible amount of stress on the driver keeping this thing steady, especially when they're doing things like running red lights and going on the wrong side of the road. This is just, why do it? It just surrender peacefully. and you won't harm anyone, and you'll be taken into custody. But again, right now it's very difficult to see because they're able to get behind some buildings. We are still struggling with this LAX airspace, as I've talked to you about. We apologize for that, but there are very strict rules about where helicopters and other general aviation can fly when we're this close to LAX. But we're going to try and keep eyes on this as long as we can. The LAPD airship is dealing with the same problem. That helicopter, that air commander trying to assist his officers on the ground to make sure that they get this driver into custody. And this may have, not stopped behind the building, still going. The driver does not want to give up, Amy.
Not at all, and still pushing this truck. And for people that may just be joining us, this is a situation where the driver is wanted for attempted murder. Officers were saying that they were not going to attempt a pit maneuver because they do know that the people inside are armed and dangerous, but they are not going to let the people in this truck go too far. They are staying very close on this vehicle and doing all that they can. This pursuit's been going on for about 45 minutes now, and we have just seen this truck lose the tire, then on the rim, parts of that rim have come off, but this driver is still keeping this truck on the road. They have run through red lights, they have gone through intersections, and still pushing it. Looking now, Mark,
it's very difficult to tell where this vehicle has disappeared to. They may have gone under that bridge there. They are very, very close to the airport property. They may actually be getting onto airport property.
Yeah, that's Century Boulevard right there.
Yeah, it is. And they could have made a turn. Again, it's very difficult to tell. There it is. Okay,
there.
so is this the sidewalk? I can't tell. That almost was the sidewalk there. This is the frontage road, I believe, on the airport property, basically.
Yeah, like down by the arrivals area.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with the airport, you go down to that lower level for arrivals, and this driver just refusing to stop. This is certainly a crowded area. It's Friday, a big travel day, 12:47. Certainly, you see more pedestrians out there going the wrong way on the road. This is very dangerous. This is a large truck that the driver cannot control very well without that tire, Mark.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any more sparks. I mean, like we had talked about before, the Chevy Avalanche is a very heavy-duty vehicle, large vehicle. So the powertrain is very powerful on this one, a lot of horsepower, but still it's hard to stop now. And now I'm seeing a lot of what looks like dust or smoke coming from behind that vehicle. I don't know if that's because they went through dirt or if it's starting to smoke on the passenger side. It's difficult to tell. They may have been off-roading it there for a second as they went over the island. I'm not sure.
This is really remarkable. Typically, we don't see a vehicle last this long without a tire, Mark. I mean, this is a little unusual to see it still going. The driver still able to make turns, maneuver it, make U-turns in their effort to continue to try to get away from officers. But again, this is an attempted murder suspect that they are after. This pursuit going on for almost an hour now, and they have been instructed not to attempt a pit maneuver because these folks inside the truck are armed and considered dangerous. But you can see that truck is definitely tilted there without that tire. It really is remarkable that it is still going like this.
Yeah, I mean, it is remarkable that they're able to go this long. I mean, there's we were talking about, the driver is probably really struggling to control that vehicle. And we apologize that we can't get SkyCal directly behind this vehicle to bring it to you. We've got to kind of work around the airspace of LAX. These buildings, unfortunately, along Century Boulevard are just getting in the way. It's the same problem for all the general aviation that's up there. I do see on the radar there are lots of airships involved, both media airships and law enforcement that's tracking this. But as you can see, Amy, LAPD very often will go into something called surveillance mode or tracking mode when they have dangerous pursuits. We've seen it before where they sort of back off. I think this person's trying to bump through traffic right now.
Looks like the truck is...
now he's grinding it against another vehicle. That red convertible just got pushed up against... I don't see a lot of damage on that vehicle. Well, maybe there was some damage, but this is just going to be more damage on this Chevy Avalanche here. And now it looks like it's starting to slow down again.
Really slow down. You wonder if it's not operated.
Okay, now they're getting out and running. This is the footage. Three people.
A woman. They're all running.
Getting into another vehicle.
Oh no, he got into the other car. Oh no.
Was that?
Mark, that is exactly what we were hoping would not happen. Jumped right into this SUV
that didn't
into
look
the back
like,
seat.
Into the back seat,
Into
right.
the back seat of this SUV, and it is now going extremely fast. The other two people, including a woman, ran out. Officers went after them, and we see this SUV now in that pursuit. And this is exactly what we were hoping would not happen.
Now, this is incredibly rare, Amy. We have not seen something like this in a very long time. This was not a carjacking. This was someone, I believe, assisting this driver in getting away.
Yep.
That is a remarkable turn of events here. That implies deep coordination with another person to come and rescue this fleeing vehicle, this fleeing driver. Now, we don't have any eyes right now on the two women that departed. They did look like women to me that got out of the back. At least one was a woman, yeah. And they fled in a northbound direction. They ran away.
We're going to show this again, Mark. You can see it on the right side of the screen. This is when the truck stops. You see that driver get out. That SUV is sitting there. It almost looks like they're waiting.
That is the rear passenger side. They took right off. Yep.
Yes, and the women ran, and that SUV was sitting there. It did not look like this was any type of carjacking. This looks like this person was waiting for that driver to get out and go, and really, I mean, just took off.
Yeah, that is remarkable. I am going to try and listen to see if LAPD is talking about this at all on the radio. In my other ears, we listen, so I apologize if I'm a little distracted, but I am really interested to know what LAPD is saying about this. Now we have a fresh vehicle, different driver. This is, Amy, this is a situation here in Southern California where we have two drivers both wanted for fleeing in the same pursuit. I cannot think of the last time that has happened here. And the felonies are just being racked up on everybody involved in this. Looks like a gray SUV of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, now we are again in a residential area. It is in north of LAX in the Westchester area. An incredible turn of events, as you said. This is a fresh vehicle, no damage, and certainly this driver also seems to have the same wherewithal to try and get away from LAPD this afternoon.
Absolutely. It looks almost like a gray Honda Pilot to me.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is a gray Honda Pilot.
But it does look that way. And Mark, I know that you were trying to listen to the radios as we are watching this because we're really interested in finding out if those other two people were taken into custody. But look at this. I mean, they almost look like they're ready to do a pit maneuver.
Yeah, this has really escalated the danger for LAPD. This shows that there is an extreme desire to get away at any cost, which only ratchets up the things that LAPD believes that these drivers are capable of at this time. I mean, including coordination with people outside of this pursuit. I mean, this is very, very rare to see. In a situation like this, Amy. I can't think of another time that this has happened like this.
I was really worried that this person was going to jump out and try to carjack another driver and take over, weapons drawn. But we see now it does appear that this was a coordinated situation. We noticed earlier when they made that U-turn, and it looked like they were making some specific left turns, and as if they were trying to get to a certain location. We see that driver then jumping into the rear seat there, and those two women running away. Mark, I don't know if you've had a chance to hear whether or not those two women are in custody at this point, but that other driver certainly not slowing down. As you mentioned, it is a fresh vehicle, and this person is doing whatever it takes to get away on the wrong side of the road right now. Making a very aggressive attempt here on the wrong side of the road to get away from those officers. There is starting to be buildup of traffic on the side here, and fortunately these other drivers are stopped at the intersection. Hopefully they're hearing those sirens and they are stopping to see what's going on, and it is just really tough to see going through another intersection, and you're just hoping that people are aware and we don't see an accident happen here. Mark, have you been able to hear anything new about those other suspects?
Yeah, I mean, I am listening to the radio traffic of during that incident. I mean, the LAPD officers sounded very alarmed when they were talking about this. I did hear them say that this possibly might be a Mazda. I'm not sure. They did describe it that way, but That's what I heard, but I'm not sure if that is a Mazda or not. But the LAPD officers were very alarmed when this happened. The air unit is now coordinating with them. I mean, they're still treating this as a felony pursuit. They're going to continue to chase. They're not going to give up on this one. The danger has ratcheted up, as I said, even more. But yeah, we are still basically in the same general area. We are slowly transitioning north, closer to like maybe the Ladera Heights area in this neighborhood. And now, who knows? This is the second driver in this pursuit. We have no idea where they are going or even where they came from at this point. But you can only assume that they must have been in contact by cell phone with that first driver that ostensibly is in the back seat of this fleeing vehicle still. I mean, we haven't seen anybody get out yet, right?
No, we have not seen anyone get out. And you wonder if the same plan is underway, that they will not attempt a pit maneuver, that they will just stay very close to this SUV and try to just, you know, stick with them and hope that they give up. But again, you've got a fresh vehicle, a fresh driver, a well-working SUV, because we all saw that other Avalanche, that Chevy Avalanche, which was on 3 tires. And now you've got what appears to be a very fast-moving SUV, not slowing down at all, running through a stop sign, going through these intersections, really, really in a dangerous situation, because this is 1 o'clock almost on a Good Friday. A lot of people are off. LAUSD students are out of school. People are out
people having to get out of the way.
Weekend. Yes. Yes, this is certainly a bad situation, and they do suspect that that person in the back seat is armed and certainly considered dangerous. The original reason why they were going after that driver that was in the Avalanche was that they were considered armed and dangerous and were wanted for attempted murder. Mark, are you hearing something new?
Well, yeah, I am hearing in my ear. My producer Paul is just telling me that those 2 women that did run from the vehicle are in custody. Interesting bit of radio traffic. They're occasionally discussing this vehicle as having a victim in it or as a carjacking vehicle. So it's unclear if LAPD is not sure right now. It certainly appeared to us that this vehicle, this person, they opened the door, got right in, and the driver took off. But I believe LAPD is not 100% certain that's the circumstances here. They may believe that perhaps this other car may not be in cooperation with the driver. It's difficult to tell, but to me, that looks like the driver immediately took off after that person got inside. That has to be that looks like cooperation to me.
It is certainly hard to say for sure, because this person is certainly ran right to it, jumped in. The SUV, you would think, would start leaving when you see somebody, you know, running up to your car. We did not see a gun drawn at that time.
We begin with breaking news right now at 4. An unbelievable twist in a 2-hour chase. An attempted murder suspect makes an SUV switcheroo right in the middle of it with the help of another driver, who then takes it from there. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ross Palumbo.
And I'm Serene Branson. A 2-hour pursuit in 2 different vehicles, all with the help of an accomplice.
We've seen a lot of wild chases here in Los Angeles, but this one was different. We have team coverage now with Mike Rogers on the desk and KCAL's Jasmine Veal, where it all ended. We begin with Jasmine in Harbor Gateway. And Jazz, what a wild ride, and we actually saw this switch.
Yeah, witnessed it all, and this is where that chase came to an end. Right on the street you see behind me, in front of some very surprised neighbors. One of those suspects actually taking off, running between the duplexes here before being taken into custody. And this was a lengthy pursuit. Not one, but 2 different drivers. An attempted murder suspect on the run. This cell phone video shows him and a woman driver bailing out at the end of a 2-hour chase Friday from an SUV on South Vermont Avenue in Harbor Gateway. After running into a neighborhood, he was quickly taken into custody, as well as that woman driver. It all started around noon when the LAPD spotted a truck in the area of 99th Street and Avalon Boulevard in South LA. They connected it to an attempted murder near 101st and San Pedro about 2 weeks ago. They said the suspect was considered armed and dangerous. The man in that silver pickup then led police on a chase through Inglewood. He wasn't alone. Police said he had 2 passengers with him. The front right tire then started smoking. Yeah, man, oh man, I did just get off the phone with the LAPD trying to get new information about exactly how many people were taken into custody and their identities. They're getting back to me on that, including information on that attempted murder from 2 weeks ago. Live here in Harbor Gateway, West Carson, Jasmine Veal.